I don't know if J-Mac's going to be able to take Daniel Karaoke here, but he does get the first pick, and so the pre-bans are the Ganymede and the Yinhong.
Definitely some expected pre-bans coming out of these two. The decay of that 1 point, not looking good at all for J-Mac. 99.8, it's tough.
J-Mac flashing the Samoth, wants to mention it. Samoth being a very effective setup he had last time. His Samoth actually being on Vampire, barely missed the double crit last time to beat Thompson. Now, it could have been a completely different match had that been 100%. But these two players knowing each other well, flashing a couple fun units, having a little fun with the draft here. Daniel Karaoke locks in. Do we see it? Is there the speed lead with the Barbara?
Yeah, these two definitely having some fun with each other. Very friendly players here, J-Mac and Daniel Karaoke. Daniel Karaoke drafting that speed lead, that CR with the Barbara as well. And J-Mac locking in Fran and a Vanessa coming out of J-Mac.
Seeing a lot of Fate Memory style in this setup. J-Mac taking a really, really good page out of that book. This draft was very effective at getting Fate Memory into the finals last time against JS.
Well, if there's a page that Vanessa wants to take out of anybody book, that is Dreams Joseph. He needs to see that violent procking Vanessa going into this match here.
That's true. Those Vanessa users, you know, they catch us off guard. They're underrated, but very, very strong. Daniel Karaoke leans in, takes the Molly. Not quite sure why he picks it up so early, but there it is, the Molly alongside the Carnal. J-Mac leans into a Cocky. A little scary here with the Barbara up.
Definitely a little scary here, but we're seeing a lot of fire damage coming out of J-Mac. Daniel Karaoke not wrapping up his draft, but drafting that Carnal with the Molly, looking a little safe with that Molly with this on his side of the field. J-Mac is going to be wrapping up his draft with that Cocky and with that Savannah as well.
You were right. Maybe he is taking a book out of Dreams Joseph's page there. We do see the 3 fire units on J-Mac's side. Daniel Karaoke has a little bit of an advantage in the draft here, but J-Mac pretty confidently picks that in. Maybe there's something we haven't seen before, maybe a unique tech.
Well, we're about to find out. Daniel Karaoke, one last pick going into J-Mac here.
Like the Water Ryu lock in, double speed leads, good opportunity, good protection here. J-Mac probably leaning to ban the Barbara now for the first turn, but could also just ban out the Water Ryu.
Yeah, Water Ryu being a very good pick going into this Cocky. Be able to attack break with that first skill, attack bar pushback with the second skill. Great strip for this Fran being left on the field, but we're about to find out how good is this draft going to J-Mac, or is J-Mac going to be flexing that last year's America's Cup knowledge on Daniel Karaoke here? Okeanos with the first turn.
Ooh, what a big strip reset denies Daniel Karaoke any opportunity to stop this attack buff immunity here. J-Mac's got a pretty scary unit looking up. The Cocky with the attack buff does a lot of damage.
Lot of damage coming out of that Cocky right onto the more with the defense break sitting on top of him. Daniel Karaoke is not able to put a bomb on here unless Molly, of course, can get a nice strip of the immunity on any of these units.
The cleanse and gets the extra turn, but no strip on the Okeanos. No bomb will come out. Vanessa has the opportunity for a lot of damage.
Yeah, Vanessa's looking for that death break on top of Ciara. Not like Dreams Joseph getting the additional turn as well. Ciara trying to cycle a little bit of attack bar. We see that big third skill going out on top of Daniel Karaoke's team.
But just like Dustin, we do see the Molly getting a lot of value out of that passive. We saw the glancing, so no defense break for Vanessa.
That's right, but Cocky providing enough damage to finish off that CR. Not at all what Daniel Karaoke needed to see here. Big skill too. Does get resisted on top of that Connell.
Cocky doesn't matter if you glance, you deal a ton of damage anyways. The attack buff Cocky ripping through his entire team. J-Mac's got a really aggressive draft here. The attack break on Carnal is very good, protects him a little bit more.
Definitely does, but that defense break with the additional turn come out of Cocky. It's too oppressive. The Onimushas with the multi-hits. First skills that death break with a violent proc on top and just dealing so much damage.
An incredible base speed on Cocky working so effectively in J-Mac's favor. Has the 33 lead alongside the 115 base speed. This Cocky's just ripping through units. Does he take out the Molly? He doesn't defense break.
So much damage coming out of this Cocky. Molly needs to get so many additional turns. The lovely attack break that Water Ryu can supply onto the Cocky would definitely help him out, and he does that exactly.
No stun from the Okeanos, though, so Daniel Karaoke does have a skill 2, gets the stun to spare Water Ryu, to spare more, taking the stun out on the Cocky, but Fran will be here to cleanse it.
Yep, Fran is going to be there, but so is Molly. Molly healing up the team as much as possible, looking to deal some damage to the Okeanos. Cocky not getting the additional turn to possibly finish off that Molly there, but we've got that reset coming out onto the Molly for that second skill.
It's Oki dealing a ton of damage, both additionals and the crits, the double crits there into the Molly, but Molly will not go down. She is a fighter. She has 2 turns. She gets healed again.
Yep, Vanessa with that beautiful passive being up there. Okeanos coming back right now. Fran primed and ready with that second skill, healing up Okeanos to looking very healthy right now. Kaki applying so much damage onto the Molly. Okeanos dropping the Molly here. It is just a lonely Moore, not looking good for Daniel Carioca.
You know how Moore is, especially on Despair. Has the opportunity. Passive is up. Has skill 2 ready. Could be enough to take the victory here.
It could possibly be enough, but this is an attack buff Kaki. We're going to see a lot of damage coming out of him. He's not able to strip any of that off of the Kaki. Here we go. That big first skill, eliminating that Moore from the field. J-Mac taking round 1 away from Daniel Carioca.
Oh, Kaki, what an incredible pick. We saw in the past, he got nerfed, but still comes back with a vengeance. A super strong unit here into the draft. Not afraid of the Molly, not afraid of anything else. Knew that he could take the first turn there with his Okeanos.
Such a strong unit with probably amazing rune quality behind it for J-Mac. Really like to see that Kaki, and something that Daniel Carioca needs to prepare for going into this round 2.
I really like that J-Mac wasn't afraid of the water. You knew he could reset it on the first turn, went in for that risk, and just kind of ripped to shreds every unit with that Kaki. That first skill defense break dealing a ton of extra damage, and then the additional turn there to finish it off.
It was a great first step going into that match, but into this match, can J-Mac take a second great step with Daniel Carioca? Pre-bans are out here. Looks like Barbara and Ciara are getting pre-banned.
Oh, we do love a good Barbara ban. J-Mac showing Daniel Carioca the respect he deserves. Bans out his fastest unit. Doesn't want him to have the Barbara.
And Okeanos being first picked by Daniel Carioca. J-Mac looking at drafting more himself along with a Fran.
J-Mac, we've seen this incredible friend. Very, very strong, very high, actually quite high artifact damage on that, alongside how tanky it was.
I love that we're seeing a different side of J-Mac compared to the last time we were watching him play. This is exactly how J-Mac needs to play, as he needs to keep his opponent guessing. This is how he basically won last year's America's Cup. He kept his opponents guessing, and you couldn't predict anything that J-Mac was bringing to the table. That's so far what we've been seeing out of J-Mac. Daniel Carioca locking in that Yanhong and that Chiwu. J-Mac responding.
Flashing the Verd. Really like the Verd here into the Chiwu. Very strong opportunity. We know J-Mac has extremely efficient runes. Could be super tanky. Could even be double revenge will. Might be triple revenge. Could even be violent revenge. Something we haven't seen in a long time here.
Well, J-Mac does lock in that Verd heal and Savannah. Daniel Carioca looking at bringing that Connell back, and one other pick a little heavy on the fire side. And this is where Chow really does shine. I think Daniel Carioca's got to keep that in mind, that we could possibly be seeing a Chow soloing unit in this 5th pick.
Really like how J-Mac prepares his drafts for every unit. And there it is. You called it. There's the Chow. The last pick Chow is locked in, and that's got to be a force ban. There's no way Daniel Carioca has anything available to deal with that.
It's 100% a force ban. If that Chow goes through, it's going to be ripping Daniel Carioca to shreds. It's too much firepower. It's too much everything going up against Daniel Carioca. Chow's definitely going to be the ban, and the Yanhong's getting banned. We're getting into a round 2 with Daniel Carioca and J-Mac, and it's already kicking off very exciting.
Really like the way J-Mac prepares for his opponents. Has something different ready for everybody, but is always very confident. Very, very confident.
He really does. And this Chiwu looking fast for Daniel Carioca, looking for that strip and nailing that debuff on top of the Fran as well.
He's scared. You can see him. He doesn't go for the AoE strip. He's afraid of the triple revenge Verd here.
Yeah, definitely afraid of that triple revenge Verd. That's been, you know, messing up a whole lot of people throughout many seasons now. We're going to see Vertiheal looking at this Connell, trying to pummel in some damage on top of that defense break. Lulu looking to cleanse everybody up.
Beautiful extra turn there from J-Mac. Does manage to get the attack break onto the Okeanos. Denies the immunity coming up. Just gets a cleanse and nothing else.
Lulu trying to poke a little bit of damage into that Vertiheal. Vertiheal not revenging onto this water unit, but we've got Okeanos with that big second skill.
A lot of value here, actually, for J-Mac. Having this Verd available here alongside the Water Ryu. Water Ryu's going to do a lot of damage, and as the Despair threat, can really chip down away at this Okeanos.
Yeah, Fran really trying to reduce the attack bar of that Okeanos, pummeling a little bit of damage here. We're going to see this more. Probably still focusing in, but instead going for a beautiful Despair stun on top of the Connell.
There it is. There's the risk. Chiwu going for the skill 3, hits the strip, but is revenged by the Verd. Extra turn for Cardinal, though. Does give him the Sword Rain. How much value does he get?
Really big additional turn there, getting a stun on top of the Fran with that slow debuff on everybody here. Vertiheal trying to get up some attack bars. We're going to see a big second skill going on top of Okeanos, not really dealing much here.
No big stun here from Moore. Moore does get stunned. 4-man stun from Oki. Oki's going to have a lot of mileage here. He's going forward. They're taking down the Fran. She's getting chipped away.
They really are. Daniel Carioca trying to get himself on the good foot here, trying to get rid of this Fran with the additional turn. He's going to be able to drop that Fran here, and he does. Daniel Carioca, he's got sustain, he's got control. He needs to be careful of this more, but it is looking good for Daniel Carioca.
JMac playing a little bit behind here. Does have the opportunity of the Vert for extra turns. Savannah being a little bit weaker in this draft. Okeanos getting a ton of value. Oh, and there's the extra turn, but it's just too late. Okeanos just...
Yeah, Okeanos just reset that Savannah. Savannah not able to capitalize on anything. Vertiheal trying to push up his attack bars. Big skill too, coming at him more and more with the Despair Stun on top of that Okeanos, but the Cleanse primed and ready with Lulu.
Yeah, the Cleanse here denies a lot of mileage from that Moore. Moore's got good damage though, additional damage. Despair has the opportunity to still win this out. I wouldn't discount him too far yet. We got Bird, we got Moore. It's a lot of extra turns coming out.
Well, Okeanos says he's got some additional turns as well. Stuns are coming out, dismounting that Savannah. Moore trying to do all he can right now. Savannah with a very nice proc. Does crit, not able to finish off that Connell just yet.
Oh, what a huge stun lands on the Moore. Denies so much. Moore not going to be able to get the turn. He's taking a lot of damage here.
And there we go. Daniel Carioca responds with a round 2 victory against JMac.
Yeah, fairly well drafted. I really thought JMac had the advantage here with the draft. I didn't quite like the Savannah pick at the end there. I felt like it was a little bit on the weaker side, but overall still very strong showing from JMac. Had a really good Fran. It got stunned every turn though. It's a little bit unfortunate there.
It was definitely a good showing for both those two. I think the drafts worked out great, but it worked out in Daniel Carioca's favor throughout play. Excellent match with Daniel Carioca. He gets a win away from JMac. We've got the pre-bans from last time. That Barbara and Sierra were pre-banned, and we've got some new pre-bans coming out again.
Yeah, we definitely see the value in Okeanos, though. That extra turn from the Okeanos really stun up the whole team. The extra turn to get into the reset. Okeanos, time and time again, shows his value in these tournaments every single year. 2019, 2020, even now with Artifacts, 2021 is an incredibly strong unit.
It really is. Pre-bans are out. Yan Hong's getting pre-banned for on Daniel Carioca, and looks like that Savannah that Daniel Carioca doesn't want to have to deal with is getting pre-banned as well.
Interesting, though. Daniel Carioca swapping up the pre-ban, wants to give JMac the Ganny opportunity. Both players very confident on their picks, locking things in back-to-back. The Okeanos into the Sierra Barbara, back into a speed lead with the Fran.
Yeah, very confident in their picks, and Daniel Carioca slowing it down. Take advantage of that time. Try to get a gauge on your opponent here. He's going to be looking at a Juno. Does he choose to lock in the Juno with one other unit?
A little bit scared of the Juno here. Not really feeling a lot of value on Juno currently. However, if she is on Will, it could be a little bit of a toss-up.
Yeah, definitely. So we've got a Juno and we've got a Ganny. I feel like Daniel Carioca is hovering over a Rika for a 5th pick going into this match here. But we've got JMac looking to respond to 2 other units. As he read into it, it looks like he's going to be bringing that Kaki.
Diana and Lulu are both really, really scary options here at the end. Diana for the aggressive composition, Lulu for the defensive double immunity. You don't see it.
And it looks like Daniel Carioca is going to roll the dice and introduce an Antares to this draft.
Oh man, we've seen Antares in so many of the tournaments, so many of the years, showing that he is one of the scariest units out there, one of the most formidable opponents. That extra turn mechanic, steel turn, is so strong and so scary.
It really is. That is a terrifying unit because that unit can be extremely oppressive. He takes that unit back and he's going with a Connell instead.
Tries to strike the Fear of God into JMac, but doesn't go for it. Wants to play safe and take the Cardinal. Really values that HP lead, the slow debuff, very effective there.
Interesting mechanics coming out of Daniel Carioca, trying to play mind games with that Antares. Ban's going to be coming out here, and the Fran and the Connell are going to be banned out.
Pretty good draft here for JMac.
Definitely a pretty good draft here. We're going to find out who has the stronger draft as we get into round 3 with Daniel Carioca and JMac.
Definitely afraid of the Diana here. Diana on the field into this, into 2 wind. And the Barbara is very scary, but Barbara could put enough damage out and possibly take out this Kaki early on.
Yeah, definitely a lot of damage going towards this Okeanos, looking to get rid of this unit first, which would proc the passive on top of this Vanessa.
No strip there for the Vanessa means that he will revive. Defense break on the first hit. Diana could go in for it, but it's not worth the risk. It's a little risky with the Sierra following up here.
Definitely a little risky indeed. Trying to get that stun on top of Ganymede, not receiving that stun here. Glancing can be applied to that Diana.
But very effective against her, but wants to ventilate, gets the extra turn, shrugs off the defense break.
Does not land the glancing on top of that Diana. He can use this bomb to lock down the Diana to stop it from taking turns here. Does not need to detonate it though.
Today is Daniel Karaoke's day. He's showing he's got the pride going. He's ready to do this. He's ready to take out JMac. And the extra turn, there it is. Vanessa takes a page out of Dreams Joseph books and takes out the Ganny on the first turn.
Massive violent proc right there coming out of Vanessa, able to get that defense break and remove that Ganny from the field. Barbara looking to deal a little bit of damage herself, trying to take out that Okeanos, and of course it would be revived back with the Vanessa passive.
Oh, Daniel Karaoke goes for it. He goes for the finish onto the Okeanos with that skill 1 on Sierra, but doesn't quite hit enough damage. Okeanos will get a little value here, so here comes the Rain of Stones and the attack buff.
Yeah, there's that Rain of Stones not locking down the Barbara here. Barbara needs to get rid of this Okeanos. He's trying to trade units here to go for a 3v3, keeping in mind this Vanessa can get that revive back.
Interesting, goes for the strip, does land the stun there on the Cocky. Very effective, very strong, but an extra turn from Diana is a little scary here.
Definitely scary indeed. We might see that first skill dropping. No, he's choosing to form and cycle and going after that Ciara.
Doesn't have the turn. Not sure if he went for it for the damage. Might have needed just a little bit extra to get in there and finish off that Sierra. Here it is. Cocky's going to go for the dismount. Should skill 1 here. Doesn't skill 2 because you don't get any sort of endure from knocking her off the mount.
Yeah, not just yet. Defense break sitting on top of Barbara. Can Barbara shake this defense break? And we've got Juno looking for a Despair Stun on top of Cocky. Not enough. We've got 3 turns. We see that before we see that passive again. Barbara's going to be pummeling that damage into that Cocky. It looks like it may be over for JMac here. We've got Barbara trying to do all she can. Juno with the Despair Stuns into Vanessa. We've got Barbara finishing that unit off. Daniel Karaoke taking round 3 away from JMac.
Really, really careful execution there. We saw Daniel Karaoke using skill 1 from his Barber to actually slow down the Cocky. Knew he would get another turn if he moved in front of it, and it just worked out perfectly for him. JMac, though, interesting choice on the Diana there. Swapped forms. Not quite sure if he needed it. Didn't have the cooldowns ready yet, but might have just needed to finish off that Sierra with the extra damage.
Definitely some dangerous plays coming from both these people, but they needed to make these kind of plays. This is SWC, and if they see these opportunities to drop units, they tried to go for those moments. But Daniel Karaoke came out on top in that round 3. He's got 1 match up against JMac. JMac needs to bounce back going into this set number 4.
And one of the interesting things we saw in that match was when Daniel Karaoke had the opportunity to strip with his Barbara, actually went for the strip onto the Diana. Unique mechanic not a lot of people know about, but strips don't actually glance, so using that into the Diana is very effective. Strip the shield and she just ate the entire bomb.
Well, we have our pre-bans from last time, the Yonhong and the Savannah coming back in this match number 4. We've got a Barbara getting banned out, and we have that Ganymede getting banned out by Daniel Karaoke.
Seems Daniel really likes denying or picking the Ganny here. You know, in the other matches, pre-banned the Ganny, and then in the last match, actually picked the Ganny instead. Very strong setup.
Definitely a strong setup indeed. Okeanos getting first pick by Daniel Karaoke. JMac responding with a speed lead. The Ciara with that Fire Bison.
JMac going for a little bit more of an aggressive and standard draft here. We see the Sierra, speed lead, Fire Bison, very strong. Good showing. It's not too revealing of your hand. Has a lot of opportunity to go for turn 2, turn 1, big cleave setups.
Well, JMac's going to be trying to surprise Daniel Karaoke. This is a very important match to possibly knock Daniel Karaoke off balance, and we are going to be seeing a Chloe coming out.
Daniel Karaoke taking away the Water Ryu at this point is very strong, taking away that more from JMac, but JMac has the Shizuka. Shizuka Chloe, we saw it before, a very effective combination against Thompson and against others.
Definitely a very effective combo indeed. Is it going to be enough to possibly knock Daniel Karaoke off balance here? He's got 2 more picks after seeing this Chloe and Shizuka. It's going to be the Molong and the Yonhong coming out of Daniel Karaoke.
Pretty strong showing for DK. He does have Okeanos Yonhong, Molong Yonhong combo. It's pretty scary for JMac, but JMac has invincibility, has the revive mechanic. Going to be a little bit worrisome here for Daniel. Will he be able to effectively control JMac in the early turns?
Well, we're about to find out. JMac wrapping up his draft with one last pick, and it is going to be that Diana. I think we're seeing a Moore and Molong going through here now that he has locked this unit in.
And a very, very effective unit here. Most likely the ban, but could see the Sierra ban for the denial of bombs alongside Shizuka on JMac's side. Could be the Okeanos. Okeanos very strong to this, but also could be the immunity ban. Could be taking away the Fran, playing for turn 2 here with his own immunity on the Chloe.
And Diana's going to be banned out, and it looks like this Okeanos is going to get banned out by JMac on Daniel Carioca.
Daniel needs a lot of value out of this Yunhong. Yunhong needs to land that first turn strip. He needs to get that first turn. He needs to get a despair stun here. Otherwise, it's going to be going to a game 5.
I think a lot of people want to see that game 5 here, but I think Daniel Carioca wants to see this match end here. We've got speed leads for both players here. Can Daniel Carioca put the nail in the coffin here, or can JMac have this match end and go into a game 5?
There it is, first turn. Do we see the strip? Does she land it? Yunhong, we need you to hit it now.
And Yunhong does, gets that strip, boosting up its team to get in front of JMac here, getting a very nice despair stun on top of Chloe.
Good attack bar gain. It looks like Shizuka could go down here to the Reckless Assault, and Shizuka's gonna go.
Daniel Carioca wants to remove units from the field. He doesn't want to have something that he needs to worry about. Removes that Shizuka from the field. Fire Bison trying to pummel in what damage he can on top of Fran. Beautiful attack break does land on top of that Ciara, though.
A lot of value here out of this immunity. Doesn't need to cycle out of the immunity yet. Wants to keep Sierra in check.
Yeah, definitely. Daniel Carioca trying to land that glancing to help the Ciara not gain any turns here. Molong once again getting another stun on top of this Chloe.
Chloe not getting any turns. She's looking pretty sad down there. Stunned away. Locked away forever. Unable to use her invincibility.
JMac trying to get some additional turns here, deal as much damage as possible into this Fran. We've got Charge Vitality coming out onto Molong. Molong looking at a defense break on top of the Ciara. We've got the Blade fans coming out with the Yunhong to drop the Ciara. Not looking good for JMac. He does have the second skill to heal up and the third skill. This is a violent Chloe.
Looks like Brazil might carry here. Daniel Carioca looking pretty good for the third win, but it is a Fire Bison. It is a Chloe. There's a lot of potential for extra things to happen right now.
That's right. JMac's not done yet. You see those massive stuns coming out there. All the slows on top of Daniel Carioca's team. JMac still trying to finish off. He's got a support unit. He has a damage dealer, but can Daniel Carioca get the upset?
Today seems to be Daniel Carioca's day, hitting a lot of despair stuns, good resistance overall. Maybe it's just enough. He could take down our reigning champion.
Definitely trying to take down that reigning champion. Indeed, defense break sitting on top of that Fire Bison. Fran looking to buff up here, so we're going to see some big damage coming from Daniel Carioca. JMac trying to get rid of this Fran and not receiving it, but he can already see the future. Daniel Carioca taking down JMac.
And there it is.